Good evening, everyone. And after a number of technical mishaps and all sorts of things, like, the world tries to deny us from doing what we want to do, we're live. My name is Jason Grant, and tonight I'm speaking to Irish, who is a production manager from 21 Crypto magazine. And rather than trying to introduce this superhuman, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself, Irish. Please tell us who you are and what you're doing and how you got to where you are today.
Tough question. So many things at the same time. First, so before I got into 21 Cryptos, I discovered Bitcoin back in 2016 when my boyfriend's laptop was hacked by ransomware. I think I told this story about 100 times already, but many people don't know yet, of course. And we had to pay the ransom so we could unencrypt his files. We had to pay the ransom in Bitcoin. That's when I knew about it, and I checked the price. It was about 500 each Bitcoin. And I was like, what is this? This is crazy. What is this about? I never heard of this before. So I started studying, not only about the price. Of course, the price is the first thing that gets you, because you want in, right? Because you're excited about how you can make money in this new space. But when I started to read more about the technology, I thought I was looking into a revolutionizing technology, and I knew that in the future we had a lot of potential to use this, and I wanted into. So I started researching first in Facebook. I joined a lot of groups, but many people in the beginning, they started asking the same questions. They only focused on the money, not so much technology. And I was a bit sad because I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to learn more about the technology, how it could change the world. So I started going more into Twitter. I found crypto Twitter after that. And after knowing many people, one day there's this person called at Game of Cryptos. He comes to me and he shows me this idea about a magazine. And I wondered, well, why is this person talking to me about this? Because I didn't have, or nor do I have today, that much experience to talk about cryptocurrencies. I'm mainly an enthusiast. But I thought the idea was engaging because mainly we take care of content through other people's experiences, through other people's expertise. So I thought that was a really neat idea. Back then I had another job, and I thought, why not? Right now I'm not happy at my job. I really don't like what I'm doing. I used to be a cashier slash store manager. So I decided to give it a shot and see where it would take me. And here we are today.
So, okay, tell us a little bit about the purpose of 21 Crypto and what you guys are working on there,
Our first and foremost idea was to take crypto mainstream. That's even our slogan today. The idea we have is when you get into the crypto world, there's just an amazing amount of information that is scattered everywhere. You don't know where to start and where to go from there. So our goal is to make it easy for people who are just getting into this and give them enough tools and metrics so they can make their sound decisions as investors. And that's basically it. Taking crypto mainstream. That's our goal.
Awesome. And tell us a little bit about the team that's working on the project and, your role in that team.
So right now we're about 7, 8 people. I'm not sure because we're changing a little bit here and there right now. So the number is not 100% right. But when we started, we were only 3. That's me, V, is known as V. He doesn't want to dox yet. And Ananki, he doesn't want to dox yet too. And they had this idea. They didn't know who they would call, and V decided to call me for some reason. still, it's a bit of a mystery today to me. But he said he saw my tweets and he saw I had potential, so I decided to get into the idea and see what would come from it. And my job in the magazine right now is to make sure that all the content is delivered and is organized to enter the next issue.
Awesome. And so where do you see this project going in the future? Like what is sort of the big vision here, or are you just taking it like as it comes?
We do have some future plans. They are not 100% defined, but our idea right now, our priorities is to create a crypto hub with our old issues articles. We also just launched a blog, like pros that also write to our magazine can also write blog posts in our website. They can be talking about trading or investing, the technology, crypto security, anything related to crypto really. And in the future, we want to also branch out. We don't just want to be a magazine. We want to be more than that. We want to really be a gateway to crypto to those who are just new to this.
This is really amazing. You know what I like about blockchain space very much, that a bunch of very young, smart, capable, polymathic people from around the world, whether they want to be known openly like you and I, or whether they like to remain private and anonymous. And I was thinking about this today actually while walking to office this morning, and I was thinking, like, you know, remaining anonymous is a very commendable thing, because it gets people to really focus on the work and the output and the content rather than who the people are. And that's why I don't like to really introduce people myself, because, you know, I just can't really do anybody justice in the way I describe them. And it's also like we quickly skip past like who you are and what you do to, well, who you are, but like more to what you do really. So this is really super inspirational really to me, and I'm sure everyone else who will be watching this. So tell us a little bit about how you've managed to garner so much attention, because, you know, looking at your 21 Cryptos magazine, you know, got loads of followers on Twitter. You yourself have loads of followers on Twitter. Give us some sort of growth, you know, advice, you know.
I think the core reason for this is to make sure that we make something the public loves and something that has value. Also, there's the marketing part, of course, like launching competitions and giving free subscriptions to, also asking our pros to shield us a bit. Of course, that was really part of our success in the start. They really helped us because in the beginning, they just joined this project out of goodwill, really.
And so tell me a little bit more about what exactly you're looking for this project. So like, if you could like close your eyes and imagine 5 things that, you know, you and your team and the project could have right now, what would be those 5 things and maybe why?
5 things. Well, that was unexpected, but we really want to help the world, not just to those who are just beginning in crypto, but we also have some we want to help human causes. We want to help build schools and maybe some health projects. We really like to emphasize the value and the importance these things are, because I think that when we help somebody else, we always get something in return. That's probably our biggest goal right now, is to also give back to the community, not just helping people who are interested in crypto, but everything else. That's why we use some of our funds to help some human causes. I think that's really our biggest goal right now, besides crypto.
So this is the other thing that I find amazing about blockchain and crypto space, that you know, a bunch of young people running an online magazine, what is currently an online magazine, are talking about building schools and helping real world people. And it's not none of this kind of just the digital wishy-washy kind of only thinking. It's actually the real world impact. And so, you know, congratulations on that thinking and on doing that kind of stuff rather than just even thinking. I mean, most 95% of the world doesn't even think about that, and then, you know, the other 4% never even thinks about doing it, and you're doing it. So you're very much in 1% of those who are thinking it, doing it, and making an impact, and not even considering yourselves as started. So, you know, I'd love to. So you're looking for more contributors for the magazine and people to write for it.
Right now, that's one of the things that develops as it goes, depending on the content we need and basically how things develop, because sometimes we have someone who approaches us and says, I'd like to write to the magazine. We accept submissions from everyone, but we can assure people that we will publish it, because there's a lot of things that we have to make sure that it will fit the magazine, regarding writing, and also we have to be careful not to offend anyone, because that would probably end up in a lawsuit or something of that kind. We really don't want that. Also, regarding the what we said before about human causes, there's a reason we are working with Bitcoin, because we know they are very focused on donations, and that's basically why we partnered up and we are working together. Back to what we were talking. Yes, we accept submissions from everyone, but in the meantime, what we are doing is we are working with about 24 pros right now. They write articles, they contribute with 3 picks every month about what coins they think that will do best next month. Of course, we don't call that trade calls, because that would be a dangerous way of putting it. Because we have a disclaimer in the magazine. We always say that people have to take accountability for their choices, for their trades. What we do is try to guide people into how can be a good decision made. That's what we try to do.
Yeah, and I spoke about this to some extent in a couple of last conferences where I spoke at, where I presented a little bit of a matrix of parameters that anybody can use to evaluate a cryptocurrency or a blockchain project that goes into a little bit more depth, rather than just sort of see if it's a good team and see if it's a nice website and all that kind of stuff. So tell us a little bit more about your personal aspirations in life. Like, by the way, for anybody watching this is completely live and unscripted. I'm asking questions as they come into my mind, and please feel free also, Irish, to just, you know, say, I don't want to talk about that, because I'm feeling like, you know, we're good friends here, and, you know, I'm asking. So what are your aspirations in your life personally in the next bunch of years? Where do you see this space going and heading overall?
Currently, we're in a bear market, so everyone is feeling really negative. But I think, like many traders say, zoom out. You have a lot of a really better perspective when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture. I think that we are in the real beginning. We're still starting. We have so much to do. Everyone that is just starting, sometimes people think I'm really late to this, whether it's to get rich or to contribute to the space. No, we are all just getting started. I think we still have a lot of room to grow. And I think that maybe in 10 years, that's a wild guess, but maybe in about 10 years, I think cryptocurrencies will be just as common as, say, credit cards, debit cards, that sort of thing.
I personally think that's going to happen within the next 2 to 3 years, the way things are heading. But 10 years is fine. Also, we can wait that long.
I think
So
2 or 3, because people are so they are still so scared about the space as it is, because it's so volatile. But maybe maybe I'm wrong, of course. Maybe 2 3 years is a good guess. I wouldn't know.
I'll give you a reason why I say 2 to 3 years, because I've spoken to Nick Cowan, who is CEO of Gibraltar Stock Exchange, and he said to me in a sort of casual passing comment that by end of 2019 latest, every single central bank around the world is going to issue their own cryptocurrency. Now, most people consider that as, oh, it's a centralized blockchain. It's not really blockchain. It's just a database, blah, 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 blah. But the last time I checked, even centralized blockchains require wallets and require similar sort of interaction between the user and the system. So if every single central bank around the world issues their own cryptocurrency, what they will be doing, whether they know this or not, is they will be propagating the cryptocurrency style thinking and the wallet opening and all that kind of stuff. At which point people will start saying, if there is this crypto pound or Fed coin or whatever, what else is out there? Oh, look, there's 1,000 other things that I can pick from and use it in exactly the same way.
So to take the leap and finally find Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum, etc.
Exactly. And so I can see actually central banks playing a crucial role in providing that very important free marketing for everybody around the world. You know, they'll maybe force people to adopt this and kind of use crypto pound for paying this and that and so on. That's fine. You know, it's like a pay with pounds at the moment anyway. You know, it's like I don't have any other choice really in the sort of fiat world. So so that's going to stay the same. It's just I'm going to be using the same format as I'm used to with Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum and so on. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to you know, banks playing a crucial role in promoting. I'm looking forward to banks playing a crucial role in promoting even more Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think that in the end, crypto and banks will work together. I don't think they will go separate ways in that we will ditch banks forever. I think that at least for a while they will work together.
Yeah, and it's a question whether banks will exist in future. I know there's like different types of thoughts in this, whether it's going to be two-tier world or two-track world or combined world, and so collaborating. Some people thinking banks are finished, and some people thinking obviously crypto is finished. Look, it's dipped. Yeah,
Well, and at my bank, but but I think they will work together. Yes, that will. I think that will be good for both parties.
I mean, in many respects, banks and crypto are working together already because a lot of the exchanges are powered by banks through which you buy crypto with fiat and vice versa. So, banks have kind of sniffed this out. They always kind of like to play it little by little, So, look, I'd love to ask you questions all night. What else do you want to tell us about that I haven't covered so far? Tell us something that you really want to share.
That got me unaware. I don't think I can remember anything right now. Besides that, I wish we were in a bull market already.
So why is it important? Why is it important for the crypto coins to be going up in value in fiat terms? Maybe this sounds like a stupid question, but there are also those purists who just like to see the world in which only crypto is available, and therefore there isn't any of this thinking of like, how much is my Bitcoin worth in terms of dollars or pounds or pesos or whatever.
I don't know. I think that if it were really to burst from like overnight, I think that would really have some dire consequences. I think people who say that they don't really think about what would happen if that were to happen. Probably we'd have a lot of wars going around, and famine and etc. That kind of thing, because this crypto thing needs a growth curve. People need to start learning about it. You just can't tell someone to open a wallet on Coinbase and just buy some Bitcoin. Many people don't understand what you're talking about. First, to get into crypto, you have to know at least the basics of technology. To know the basics of technology, you have to have a certain level of education. There's a whole background before getting into crypto. So we can't ask people to get into crypto overnight. So you can't expect fiat to also fail overnight. That's not going to happen. That will be a slow process. And if we want crypto to prevail, we also want people to start learning how to get into it. And we also need to demystify how it works. And also, of course, that's our goal at 21 Cryptos as well.
So what about blockchain in a broader sense? What's your take on blockchain and involvement in any sort of broader blockchain projects away from crypto?
At first, when I learned about blockchain, I was awestruck because I thought that everything in this world was corruptible. Of course, depending on the blockchain, you can also corrupt it. But when you have many nodes working in the network, you know that the harder it gets. So that was the first thing that really amazed me about blockchain, the potential it has to really withstand attacks and manipulation, etc. Now, blockchain, besides cryptocurrencies, of course, I think there are some projects that I like. Not specific projects, but the way that blockchain can help certain industries, like especially health, because I know that back in 2016, many schools and many hospitals were also victims of ransomware, and that meant that the state had to pay large amounts of Bitcoin so they could retrieve the files. I think that if schools and hospitals and other I can't remember the word.
Yeah, state kind of organizations.
Yes,
yeah.
State organizations had blockchains, that wouldn't happen. Because if the information is too centralized, it's a single point of failure, as we have seen many times before. And that's really what I like about the applications of blockchain. That's essentially it, that we have to store information in the blockchain in order to avoid it being stolen, being encrypted by third parties, etc.
All right, so I've got two more questions for you before we start wrapping up. So one of them is to do with women in blockchain. Tell me a little bit about what you see in that respect, because this is really part of a Women in Blockchain series that I'm talking to specifically with women in blockchain. And, you know, it's just super, super inspirational. And, you know, the women that I've spoken to so far are mega sharp, mega sharp. So what do you think about the whole concept of women in blockchain? Is there underrepresentation there? What's going on? How is that going to play out in the next bunch of years?
I think underrepresentation is directly linked to the lack of women in blockchain tech. I think that happens for a variety of reasons. One of them is that I wouldn't say incentive, as much incentive as there is to men, but I think that women, even in more developed countries, don't feel as much tendency to go to MIT specialties or STEM specialties. They don't like it as much as men usually do. But I think that's also maybe a lack of incentive back when people are still children. I think that if we teach, maybe we give women more options while they are children to things they can play with. I think that can also stimulate their more reason-focused part of the brain to start develop interests in technologies and in mechanics, engineering, etc. I think that's one way to put it. Also, I think that we have many interesting women in this blockchain technology. I've met really astounding, really sharp women in this field. Like I have interviewed 3 women so far for the magazine, and they were really interesting women, and they had such interesting opinions on this space. And I can't wait to interview the next one, which is still a secret, of course.
Cool, something to look forward to. So one last question before we wrap up, and I really know that we're going to be talking again in future, maybe in next sort of 6 months again. You know, let's jump up, talk about what's happened. Meanwhile, super fast developing space here all the time. Every day there's like 5, 6 big news items that are developing
in crypto.
Yeah, and it's like literally you were talking about blockchain in healthcare. I just came from a blockchain in healthcare mini conference where I did kind of an ad hoc talk and spoke about role of blockchain in healthcare world. So it's happening, and there's lots of interesting projects in that space. But one of the things that here at Integral, as a company, we have realized through a program called Fresh Mind, which is about clearing all the psychosocial traumas and recognizing and developing a total clarity of mind. We've realized that we are the leaders we have been waiting for. So as a leader, that I'm talking to you now, as a leader that we have all been waiting for, tell us what your vision of future of humanity is for next 10 years. There's no option of saying, I don't know. So make it up as you go.
Okay. Well, I think I have a sort of answer to that. Right now, we have the issue of the way we are taking care of nature and the environment. So I think my biggest concern right now is mostly that one. I don't know how blockchain can help with that, sadly. But I think that in 10 years, if we don't act fast, and I think most of what we could have done right now is already irreversible, there's nothing we can do. I think we have to do a deep reflection on ourselves and think what we are doing to our planet and how can we mitigate the risks of how we live our lives, the waste we make every day. I recently started recycling because back where I came from, we didn't recycle. It was a really bad country. And I started seeing how much waste we really make. The plastic bin is always the one that gets full faster. It's weird how much waste we make, really. So environment is my biggest concern. But on a more positive note, I think that in 10 years, those who got into crypto will probably, if they can manage their money, they will be really happy, filthy rich, I hope. And I can't wait to see how blockchain, how many projects now that are mostly embryonic, how they will thrive in 10 years and how they will change the world for the better.
Totally. And it's very good to see that people are becoming much more active in sharing and acting upon all those aspects around plastic and recycling. And we run another community called Design Thinking for Business, where we talk about design thinking and designing large systems and ecosystems, which folds over into blockchain, because blockchain systems are very complex and they touch upon all these aspects of life, like social, economic, technological, and so on. In fact, at Integral, we run a Integral virtual startup incubator for blockchain startups, and we have startups there that are on protocol, rewriting the protocol, but also then in specific verticals, solving various particular specific issues. And so it's very good to see that people are, and even if I compare 2018 to 2017, 2017 seemed to be a lot more year of speculation and looking to sort of kill it, whereas 2018 is year already, it seems like a year of let's solve these major problems now, irrespective of what the price of each crypto is doing right now. So without sort of calling this any sort of talking of price of crypto, let's finish it on that note. Without calling this any financial advice or any sort of qualified prediction and so on, what do you think will happen with cryptocurrencies in terms of the actual price to like for the rest of this year? Make some predictions, and I'll talk to you towards the end of the year again and see how correct we were.
I'm so bad at predictions. That's even a joke at the magazine, because there used to be a section in the pics that was called prediction, and I always told me, please help me here because I don't know what to put here. But well, this is all about wild guesses, and even expert traders get it wrong a lot of times. So I think I also have that right. So let's say I think Bitcoin will at least stabilize in the 10K. I'd love to see 20K again, of course. But I always try to be a little conservative in my expectations so they don't fall short. Regarding the other cryptocurrencies, I think most of what we see today is fluff, basically. There's a lot of ICOs, mostly they don't go anywhere. They're just a way of stealing money. But that's why I'm focused on the higher caps and Bitcoin, of course, because it's the original cryptocurrency, as we call it. And I think that's the prediction. Do you want me to make any other one?
All right. So price of Bitcoin in dollars by the end of 2018.
Okay, let's say 25K. I don't know if you'll be wrong. Just whatever.
I was going to say 20 and you went to 25, and I thought I was an optimist and I had a positive outlook on the market. So I'm really glad to hear that. Okay, Irish, it's been very, very good fun and loads of great energy here shared. So thank you so much. I know you said you were like, you know, oh, you were nervous, this and that. And, you know, this has just been a totally natural conversation. I thank you so much. And for everybody watching, please, please, please subscribe, like this, comment, share with 7 to 10 friends, and then ask those 7 to 10 friends to share with other 7 to 10 friends. And you know, just do us a favor. Let's promote blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and all this good work that these beautiful young people around the world and smart people are doing. So thank you so much, Irish, once again, and
that was really fun.
Please keep in touch. Awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye.